I welcome you for today's webinar, Getting to Know Solidarity, which is being organized by the Europe Direct Office in Gozo in collaboration with Aġenzija Żgħażagħ and the European Union Programs Agency. As the host structure of Europe Direct, I'm happy to chair this webinar. I think that going abroad is the dream of every youth, like it was for me. Even if for short stints or a definite period of time, such an experience can really enrich a young person's life. Living on an island, we tend to have an island mentality, which sometimes creates limitations. Living abroad adds a new perspective towards life, opens us to new cultures, and teaches us that there may be more than one perspective to how we look at things, and that how we look at things is sometimes determined by our culture and upbringing. And what better way to live abroad than to do it through volunteering? Through this experience, one not only enriches his or her outlook and perspective towards life, but does so through doing good to others. Today, we have a very good array of speakers from various national organizations who will illustrate how this is possible. We have Lara Farrugia, Communications Officer from the European Union Programs Agency, and Spiteri, a youth worker from Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, who will illustrate to us, both these speakers, the possibilities that the European Union offers to youths in this area. We will also have an important contribution from Danelle Sciberras, a youth who has volunteered abroad and will recount her experience. Please feel free to put your comments and questions in the comments box during the webinar and also in the Q&A session at the end, which we will take after the completion of the various interventions. But please feel free to leave your comments, which we will answer at the end. And also even through our social media, if you want to put any comments or questions, please feel free to do so as well. So to this end, I would now like to invite our first speaker for today, Lara Farrugia, Communications Officer from the European Union Programs Agency, who will deliver a presentation on what is the European Solidarity Corps.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Lara. I will be sharing a presentation on the European Solidarity Corps. So the European Solidarity Corps is a program by the European Commission, and it helps young people take part in projects across Europe. You can volunteer abroad or in country, and we will discuss this a bit in more detail. So the opportunities available are cross-border volunteering and also in-country volunteering. So in that case, volunteering in Malta, and of course, solidarity projects. So cross-border volunteering, you can contribute to the daily work of an organization that is actively benefiting the local community. So we can go abroad and volunteer with an organization. Whilst a solidarity project, you can make a positive change in your local community with your friends, and you have projects together, okay? So the volunteering projects, the way it works is that it can last from 2 months to 12 months. So you sign up on the portal. I will give you the link later on. And it's sort of full time. So it's between 30 to 38 hours a week. The organizations vary, so there can be environmental organizations, there can be organizations who work with kids, etc. And this allows you to, of course, contribute to the daily work of an organization, as we discussed. You can actively participate, so it's not going to be just admin work, it's hands-on experience. And it can be in a different country, so it can be across Europe. Or it can be in country, so in that case, Malta, as we discussed. So, of course, this is a funded project, so these are the things that are covered. So you have complementary insurance, Support services such as linguistic support and training. So before you leave to another country, you get to learn the language. There's basic costs as well, which are covered. So your travel is covered, accommodation is covered, and also food is covered. And you also get a small allowance. In our case, it's €5 a day. So if you volunteer for 2 months, you get €5 for 2 months. And so it's 5 a day. And of course, if you have any specific needs, these costs will also be covered. And now we're going to talk a bit about solidarity projects. So solidarity projects can be implemented in Malta. So it is in your local community. They are implemented across Europe, but of course, we're going to talk about Malta. So you need to be 18 and 30 years old, even for volunteering, by the way. You need to be at least 18 years old, and the maximum is 30. And your project can vary from maybe making a change in the environment better, anything which targets the local community. You need to be at least 5 people. So the minimum is 5, but there is no maximum. And it can be long up to a year. So it's 12 months. And for every month that your project is long, you get €500. And the way you apply for this is you write an application, and we can of course help you write the application. And it's a bit of a process, but it is very, very rewarding, of course. So the way you can apply is you go to europa.eu/youth solidarity. Of course, you can just Google European Solidarity Corps, and you can join the corps there. This was a very short presentation. I will leave my email below as well because I forgot to include it. And you can, of course, contact me should you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lara. I would now have a recording by Danelle Sciberras where she recounts her experience on volunteering abroad, its relevance and significance. The recording is in Maltese, but then we will give the main salient points after the video broadcast.
Mela Mana issanna lil Danelle hija żagħżugħa li għamlet esperjenza barra minn Malta u ħadd tkun qed tispjegalna ftit żgħira fuq din l-esperjenza. L-ewwel ħaġa Danelle, grazzi li sibt il-ħin wara ġurnata xogħol biex nirrekordjaw din l-intervista qasira li ħankun qed naqsmuha ma' żgħażagħ li qegħdin f'dan il-webinar. Mela, l-ewwel ħaġa li xtaqt nibda x'ħajrek li tiddeċidi tajt li nixtieq nagħmel esperjenza ta' solidarjetà li ssifer u proprju tuża l-fondi ta' Solidarity Corps.
Nixtieq naqsam l-esperjenza tiegħi li għamilt barra minn Malta ma' żgħażagħ oħra. U l-aktar ħaġa li ħajritni kienet għax xtaqt insib opportunità differenti għalija nnifsi u li ma kienx ġo Malta. Xtaqt insib opportunità fejn nikber u nesperjenza l-indipendenza, naħdem ma' żgħażagħ oħra u fl-istess ħin isni ngħix pajjiż ieħor ħalli nara s-sitwazzjoni nikkompara isni.
Semmejt li ovvjament kont qiegħda f'pajjiż ieħor ma naqtaw il-kurżità mill-ewwel, fejn għamilt tal-esperjenza tiegħek u forsi anke kemm domt minn il-perjodu li qattajt hemmhekk.
Jiena kont ir-Romanija u qattajt isni għamilt l-ewwel 7 xhur, mbagħad kelli perjodu ta' 3 xhur li ġejt Malta ħabba l-COVID, u mbagħad irġajt tlaqt għal 7 xhur 6 xhur oħra.
Alright, ġifieri għamilt perjodu mhux ħażin u interessanti li naħseb din l-esperjenza wkoll esperjenzajtna f'nofs pandemija sa ċertu punt għax għadna għaddejjin fiha. Forsi hekk nmorru pass. Inti semmejt li xtaqt tagħmel esperjenza xtaqt tmur barra minn Malta u tagħmel xi ħaġa differenti. X'tista' tispjegalna tikka żgħira kif kien il-proċess, kif wasalt biex iddeċidejt li tmur proprju r-Rumanija?
Mela, tħalt fuq il-website European Solidarity Corps għax bdejt naqra fuq organizzazzjoni li ħalluni immur barra minn Malta u li kolli il-fondi għax m'għandix fondi biżżejjed biex immur rasi. U bdejt infittex u ġabri l-European Solidarity Corps u bdejt nitgħallem fuqhom u applikajt għall-app tagħhom u mbagħad jibdew jibatulek il-notifications għax tagħmel isek tikteb li jogħġbok affarijiet li tinteressa ruħek, xi skills li għandek, pajjiżi li tixtieq tesperjenza u jien għamilt pajjiżi bħala kull imkien u mbagħad kienu irċevejt notification fl-email li batuli mill-organization ta' Romania biex napplika magħhom. Mbagħad kelli interview magħhom u isni bekk iddeċidejt biex imur magħhom. Kien hemm proċess.
Mela isek tħadd titfittex, applikajt, għamilt din l-intervista. Qabel mort, kien hemm xi preparamenti li għamilt jew ġast qalulek ejja u battu tlaqt?
Meta kelli l-interview magħhom huma qaluli kux għandi sending organization u jien ma kellix għadejx ġifieri sending organization. U mbagħad fehmuni li kelli bżonn organizzazzjoni minn Malta li ħadd irrappreżentani. U allura għażilt organizzazzjoni li kont naf biha minn qabel għax kont volontira magħhom ukoll u aċċettaw li jiena nkun isni parti mill-organizzazzjoni tagħhom biex jibatuni barra minn Malta. U mbagħad kelli meeting ma' standing organization u bdiet femni l-proċeduri, kellna kontratt ukoll għax tittamel kontratt u spjegat li ħafna affarijiet.
Alright. Ġifieri hemm l-element ta' preparazzjoni mhux xi ħaġa li hemm perjodu qed nimmaġina di ħadet minn ftit ġimgħat għal ftit xhur sakemm inti sibt l-organizzazzjoni, ġifieri hemm ċerta reżiljenza wkoll sakemm inti qatt tisma' mit-riċerka tiegħek, irċevejt lura u tlajt ir-Rumanija. Forsi tista' tispjegalna tikka żgħira x'kont qed tagħmel, x'kienu kif taqbad tajt ix-xogħol li kellek tagħmel ma' din l-organization.
Ma qabel il-pandemija kienet ħaġa differenti. Allura konna mmorru fl-iskejjel taż-żgħażagħ u nagħmlu non-formal education, nagħmlu attivitajiet li nistgħu ngħinu ż-żgħażagħ jitgħallmu b'mod differenti mhux bħas-sistema li konna fl-iskola. U mbagħad konna norganizzaw attivitajiet barra mill-iskejjel u jiena kont ngħix ġo rural area. Ġifieri mhux ġo city, allura konna rridu nagħmlu daqsxejn riċerka kif inħeġġu ż-żgħażagħ jipparteċipu f'dawn it-tip ta' attivitajiet. Mbagħad wara l-pandemija ovvjament ma stajniex niltaqgħu maż-żgħażagħ aktar, allura kellna insibu mod ieħor kif nistgħu nagħmlu attivitajiet maż-żgħażagħ u ma naqtgħux il-kuntatt magħhom. Allura deċidejna nagħmlu platform u nagħmlu online activities. Allura konna nagħmlu eżempju Monday, nagħmlu dik l-attività every week. Eżempju Tuesday nagħmlu attività oħra. Allura konna nippruvaw nħeġġu kemm jista' jkun żgħażagħ li jibqgħu parti mill-komunità minflok imorru ġo s-cities il-kbar.
Inti u ta' tispjega wkoll semmejt li kont ma' żgħażagħ barranin jekk qed nifhmek sew, ġifieri ma kontx inti żagħżugħa waħdek Maltija qiegħda tagħmel da xogħol imma isek kont ma' żgħażagħ oħrajn. Forsi tispjegalna tikka żgħira kif kont x'kien jiġri, ġifieri kont tgħix waħdek, kont tgħix ma' żgħażagħ oħrajn?
Mela jiena kont ngħix ma' erba' oħra żgħażagħ ġo dar waħda mill-Ispanja, mill-Italja, kien hemm minn Franza wkoll u minn Denmark u bija minn Malta. Jiena l-unika Maltija li kont, qatt ma ltqajt ma' Maltin oħrajn. U allura kelli nitgħallem ngħix ma' erba' persuni oħra ġo dar. Allura kelli nitgħallem kif inkun aktar indipendenti, kif inkun aktar paċenzjuża, kif ikun aktar open-minded. Rrid nitgħallem kif isni nadatta ruħi għan-nies oħra biex ngħixu f'kumdità flimkien. Allura konna norganizzaw attivitajiet ġilli flimkien, ġilli individwali, skont il-ġurnata.
Mill-esperjenza li semmejt kont tagħmel non-formal education ma' daw iż-żgħażagħ kemm ġo l-iskola kemm barra l-iskola. Forsi tista' wkoll issemmi hemmhekk x'tip ta' ħiliet u skills akkwistajt jew esperjenzajt.
L-ewwel waħda naħseb fuq social media u kif nagħmel editing u kif nuża TikTok. Qabel ma kellix idea x'inhuma. U minn hemm tallimt isni skills ġodda biex nagħmel editing, filming fejn qabel pandemija ma kontx isni qed nitgħallimhom. Tallimt ħafna wkoll fuq time management għax isek titqassam il-ħin irid tkollok kollox schedule, tittimxi mal-schedule, tittara li kollox qassamt, li preparajt. Tallimt ukoll ħafna kif semmejtlek qabel l-indipendenza għax isek kollox tittamel waħdek. Eżempju, hemmhekk in-nar rridu nagħmlu ħafna jekk trid tħoss tisħana u tkun kumdita fid-dar għax m'hemmx electric heating. Tallimt ħafna skills u għandi lista enormi.
Jekk ikollok hekk tagħti forsi raġuni hekk jew tħajjar żgħażagħ oħrajn. X'inhu l-benefiċċju li tagħmel esperjenza bħal din?
Inħeġġeġ ħafna liż-żgħażagħ li qed jaħsbuha jew jixtiequ jagħmluha din l-esperjenza għax vera tbiddillek il-mindset tiegħek u dak tip titgħallem fuqek innifsek kemm anke fuq in-nies ta' madwarek. Isek tinduna b'ħafna affarijiet meta tiftaħ moħħok. U anke il-fatt esperjenza kulturi differenti milli jiena eżempju mdorrija, isek aktar tħossok fulfilled anyway. U anke l-fatt li qed tagħmel ħbieb ġodda minn issa x'kull pajjiż, allura jkollok aktar connections li tista' żommhom mal-futur tiegħek.
Il-fatt kuriżità żgħira għadkom titkellmu xi ftit żgħira bejnietkom
Iva, fil-fatt kelli konferenza fi Franza tliet ġimgħat ilu u iltqajt ma' waħda li kienet tgħix miegħi u għamilna ġurnata li nitkellmu. Nimmaġina u dawn huma jisom ħbiberiji li tibnihom permezz ta' daw it-tip ta' proġetti. Eżatt.
Ma nafx jekk hemm xi ħaġa oħra min-naħa tiegħek?
Vera nħeġġeġ li tesperjenzawha din l-esperjenza u qabel ma taqbdu u tagħmlu raw li tagħmlu r-riċerka. Ħalli taraw l-organization li ħadd tmorru, fitxu fuq l-organization, saqsu ħafna mistoqsijiet, taqbdu xu speċi tmorru għax tixtiequ tmorru. L-aqwa li tagħmlu riċerka għax f'xi ħinijiet xtaqt li għamil xi riċerka fuq xi affarijiet.
Danelle, grazzi ħafna li wara ġurnata xogħol bqajt ġejja dritt biex nagħmlu din l-intervista qasira, nirringrazzjak u nawguralek għall-qalbija tal-affarijiet li inti tixtieq tagħmel fil-futur. Grazzi ħafna.
Thank you.
It was a very interesting experience. So I'll be recounting the main elements that came out from Danelle's interview. Basically, Danelle mentioned an important point in her interview for those who are English speaking and are following our webinar also through our social media. Danelle did an experience of volunteering in Romania, and she mentioned the benefits that gave her this experience, especially the need. She was involved in the non-formal education sector. She went pre-pandemic, but she then had to adapt herself to a situation where the pandemic was present. So she had a double challenge, not only adapting to a new situation and a new culture, but also the challenges that the pandemic brought about. She lived with youths from Italy, France, Denmark, and she mentioned the way that she needed to adapt and that her experience made her grow and also increase the number of friendships. But more important than so, she mentioned the need to prepare. She went for this experience through the European Solidarity Corps. She came to know about it. She searched through the website. And then when she made the necessary contacts, she came to know that the need to have a sending organization. And we will delve perhaps with Lara in more depth on this aspect as well after the other intervention by Sarah. But she mentioned the need to be prepared, the need to ask a number of questions, the need to come to know the organization where you're going. She mentioned also the aspect that she needed to do a contract with the sending organization. But this is because there are a lot of preparations involved, and it is important so that the experience has the maximum benefit and can be, you can gain the maximum benefit from it. They need to know and to do your research. So these are things which need not to be discounted. So I would like to thank Danelle for her intervention, for her contribution. It is actually, sometimes we grown-ups speak, but having youths speaking and recounted their experience can be very beneficial. So I would now like to invite Lara Spiteri from Aġenzija Żgħażagħ to deliver her presentation on Eurodesk. I give you the floor, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Daniel. First of all, I would like to greet all the people who are following us and who are interested in committing themselves in participating in such events. Today, we are dealing with opportunities on a European level, and Aġenzija Żgħażagħ does practice European values. So we believe that all the young people in Malta should be given the same opportunities as other young people living in other European countries. I would like to share the screen with you because I've got a very short presentation, but it will definitely give a better insight to the young people following us about the services Aġenzija Żgħażagħ provides. The presentation will mainly highlight learning mobility opportunities which Aġenzija Żgħażagħ promotes and tries to encourage young people to participate in. And this is mainly done through our collaboration with other European networks. But before I start talking about this particular service, I think it is good to know who actually is Aġenzija Żgħażagħ. Yes, Aġenzija Żgħażagħ is the national youth agency in Malta, and we work with young people who are between the age of 13 up to 30. Yes, because in Malta you are considered as a young person up to the age of 30, and all the opportunities we provide are applicable to young people between the age of 13 and to 30. And this also applies to young people living in Gozo, because we do not only address young people living in Malta. In fact, we've got youth workers who are situated in Gozo. So all the Gozitans can refer to the youth workers stationed in Gozo. As I mentioned earlier, Aġenzija Żgħażagħ collaborates with other European networks, and one of the main networks we collaborate with is Eurodesk. Eurodesk is, as I mentioned, is a European network which involves other 36 countries, and all the 36 countries collaborate together in order to promote learning mobility opportunities. But what are learning mobility opportunities? It might sound abstract, but in reality, as the word says, you are engaging in an opportunity away from home, which will give you the possibility to learn a lot of things, not just with reference to education, but even when it comes to skills. May I refer to what Danelle said? Her experience in Romania allowed her to identify new potentials she owned, and also learn about how to live on her own, away from home, with other people coming from different cultures, so on and so forth. But how do you engage in learning mobility opportunities with Eurodesk? Basically, And I am going to show you how, not just mention what these opportunities are. Eurodesk has its own website, which is eurodesk.eu, and even Aġenzija Żgħażagħ has its own website related to this service, which is eurodesk.mt. The good thing about it, we know that sometimes it is difficult to obtain information. So we try our best to ease the process for the young person to actually find the information. And this is done through the opportunity finder. Later on, I will show you how to make use of this tool. The good thing as well about Eurodesk is that it provides the young people with reliable and updated information regarding learning opportunities. So there's no way and not even the possibility for the young people to be fooled when attaining and acquiring information. Why am I mentioning this? Because there is the tendency that we go on the web and try and find information on our own. But Eurodesk gives you the possibility to acquire the specific information you are after, and also not to be misled, which is something which can easily happen. And we do not want that, because it is not a very nice experience at all. And especially for the young people who might be new to this world. So how and where can you actually get the information you need? As I mentioned earlier, you can make use of the opportunity finder, or else you can get in touch with us at Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, where you can set a meeting with the Eurodesk Mobility Advisor, where you will have an informal meeting so that both of you can get to know exactly each other and what the young person is after. So the young person might be interested in volunteering, in having an internship, in studying abroad, or in engaging in different opportunities such as youth exchanges, seminars, training, so on and so forth. Okay, so may I show you now how you can make use of the Eurodesk Opportunity Finder? Just give me a minute, please. As I mentioned earlier, there's a specific website, which is eurodesk.eu. And here it is. So you log in onto your platform, you type eurodesk.eu, and you will reach the main face of the website of Eurodesk on a European level. May I indicate that this is not the website operated by Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, but this is the website operated by Eurodesk itself. Later on, I will also show you the Eurodesk Maltese website. So in order to discover the opportunities available, one needs to visit the Opportunity Hub. And here on the drop menu, you can see various options, but we are mainly interested in the Eurodesk Opportunity Finder. So I click on Eurodesk Opportunity Finder. As you can see, the process is very easy to follow. And very as well friendly. And here we are seeing a listing of all the opportunities available on a European level. At the moment, we are on the learning section, as you can see. So Eurodesk provides opportunities within the learning environment, also in volunteering, internships, practicing, and it also provides information regarding grants which are available either on an individual basis or addressing youth organizations. So here you can see the listings related to learning, and it is very easy to follow because it indicates, let's take, for example, this opportunity, best courses of technology. If you click on the option which is of interest to you, you can find further information about the opportunity, such as, for example, who the hosting organization is, who can apply and how to apply, and also it indicates the deadline for one to apply, and also the contacts whom to contact to obtain further information. As I've mentioned earlier, we have a Eurodesk mobility advisor available within Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, and if one does not feel very much comfortable in making contact with direct contact with the entity, the contact can be easily done through Eurodesk within Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, because we try our best to support the young person in reaching their objectives and their goals. To make the process easier, you can also type any keyword which is related to your interest. Like, for example, let's take the word volunteer, since we earlier addressed the European Solidarity Corps. And I typed the word volunteer. And here you can see the opportunities related to the word volunteer. For example, here we've got the European Solidarity Corps online training, and then you've got other trainings and also grants available related to volunteering. However, I wanted to focus as well on the option for volunteering, since we are talking about the European Solidarity Corps, and we might have young people following who are interested in volunteering. Looks like it's taking a bit of time to load. Let's be patient. And yes, here we are. Here is a full listing of all the volunteering opportunities in Europe. And we've also have upcoming opportunities. The good thing about it is this will allow the young person to actually plan ahead of when he wants to volunteer, since we're talking about volunteering. So, for example, if the young person cannot actually make it at this point in time, he can take note of the upcoming opportunities, and it will ease the process of planning ahead and actually making this opportunity, bring this opportunity to life. And obviously they will have something to talk about when they grow older, if young people do engage in such opportunities. In my opinion, Eurodesk is the gateway, the door to the opportunities out there. The good thing about the opportunities provided, they are financially supported as well through Erasmus Plus, and also through all the entities involved, which will make it possible, even more possible, for the young person to engage in such initiatives. As Danelle mentioned, and we are very much aware of this, the young people do not have too much money in hand, and that might be a barrier for them to engage in such initiatives. However, Eurodesk does help out in collaboration with other entities to make this possible to the young person. So before I conclude my presentation, I wanted to highlight something so that the followers will keep in mind the main important things about Eurodesk. Eurodesk in Malta is operated by Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, and it provides the service of a Eurodesk mobility advisor, where a young person can set a meeting and share their wants and their needs related to learning mobility opportunities provided in Europe. The Eurodesk mobility advisor will assist the young person in processing the information and attaining reliable information in order to reach its objectives. If the young person does not want to make use of this service of the Eurodesk Mobility Advisor, they can independently visit our website, which is either eurodesk.mt or eurodesk.eu, and make use of the opportunity finder to discover the opportunities available. And as I mentioned earlier, the opportunities are various. They can either be related to volunteering, to learning, to having an internship abroad, participating in different initiatives, and also making use of grants in order to proceed with their projects.
Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Sarah.
It's okay, Danelle.
Thank you, Sarah, for your contribution.
I hope that this brief information allowed our followers to actually understand how Eurodesk operates and how many opportunities there are out there available for the young person. Because one last thing, Daniel, I'm not going to take much more of your time.
For sure, take your time.
But may I point out that such opportunities allow the young people to grow in various aspects. And education, as in like you start school, you settle, so on and so forth, is not the only thing you can do in life. There's more to explore. There are a lot of opportunities available, and it is nice to participate and very beneficial to participate in such initiatives because it will allow you as a person to grow and touch things which might not be in hand if you don't leave the island. As you said earlier, we live on an island, so we are very limited. But then again, we have the possibility to participate in such an initiative. So if a young person is following and they would want to engage in such events and initiatives, do go for it, do go for it. And if you do not know where to start, you can always start with us and we'll help you reach your objectives. Thank you, Daniel.
I can vouch that Aġenzija Żgħażagħ are very helpful. And they are very hands-on in approaching youth. So I think that's something which this agency is very working concretely. For those who are following us, you can post any questions on the live chat of the Europe Direct Facebook page, or here also as well. Any comments, please feel free to do so. But in the meantime, may I engage in some discussion if you, because you mentioned some interesting points. And even I would say, when I was a youth, I really loved these volunteering experiences abroad, but we were quite limited back then. So seeing this myriad of opportunities out there is really helpful. Lara, I would like to pick up a point which Danelle mentioned in her interview, and perhaps you could elaborate further on it. She mentioned the role of the preparation, the need to have a sending organization, the need to do a contract with this sending organization. Maybe for those who are following us or for those who will follow later on this recording on social media, I would love if you could elaborate on these points, please.
So the way it works is that you need a sending organization and a hosting organization. It all starts with the youths applying on the website. So if you go on the website, there is a button. It says labeled as Join the Core. Once you join the European Solidarity Core platform, you will have an access to a database of sending organizations, including those in Malta. So that is how that is one way you can find sending organization. You can also find your host organization first, and then your host organization will help you find the sending organization. So that is mainly it. Then the sending organization will prepare you. It depends, of course, on the project, but the sending organization is very, very vital for a volunteer who will be going abroad. So they provide a lot of support.
What is the situation now? Are there sending organizations here in Malta, or their number, or people or organizations? Because we talked here a lot about the aspect of the participant, the youths, but from an organizational point of view, from a non-governmental organization, how can an NGO participate in this program, and what are its benefits as an organization?
So the way organizations can, of course, be part of the European Solidarity Corps is a bit different. So the youths just apply on our website. If an organization wants to have volunteers here in Malta, or be a sending organization for an organization abroad, they need a quality label. So you would need to fill in the quality label. It is for either a sending organization, a host organization, or there is another option, which is the lead organization. The lead organization offers the organization the ability to have funding for the volunteers. So what is most common in Malta, of course, is the quality label for a lead organization. Because organizations want volunteers here to come here in Malta.
Because I'm talking also from an organizational point of view, and I think that's important to expand the opportunities for youths to also have organizations who participate in these type of programs. And what is there something, if they want to achieve the quality mark, what's the process, or
so the process
is it hard?
It is a bit of a long process, because it's not an application for one time. So the way it stands is that the application is valid for 7 years now. So that's why it's from 2021 to 2027. So we can guide you when you're writing the application. We can have various meetings in order to explain bit by bit what the application process is like. We'll help you write the application as well. It depends, of course, what your idea is. So first we will develop the idea with you. Maybe you can write a draft application and we'll look at it together. And the application process is ongoing, so there is no deadline. But of course, then there are deadlines for organizations to apply to have volunteers here in Malta. So the next round is around the beginning of next year. We do not have the dates. Sorry. We do not have the date right now, so I cannot give you the date. But if organizations, of course, want to have volunteers next year, they have to have the quality label before they apply for the volunteers. I hope this is clear, as it's a bit of a tedious process to explain.
But you have multiple roles, in the sense that even out there, and for those who will be following this webinar, because I think for the demand to be created, there also needs to be the supply, also from an economics point of view. We, as a host structure, as a chamber, we reason a lot of these things, but the reality is that you assist, because our role as Europe Direct, much more, because our experience with people is that there exists a lot of opportunities, but people do not know about these opportunities. So that is also the role of this webinar. And may we feel the need to inform the people who are following us that you, as European Union Programs Agency, help both the organization, and I think you help also the youths. It's a two-way process.
Of course, as an national agency, we have both roles, of course. We are more approached by organizations, because youths who want to volunteer mainly use the website, but we do not, of course, turn them away if they approach us in any way. We're here to help, we're here to assist you in any way we can. So if you're an organization, even if you're new, even if you think that you're not able to do it because you're a very small organization, it is not the case. So any organization can apply, of course, within reason, because you need a project which is related to European Solidarity Corps and its values and whatnot. But it is a very, very great program. We've seen countless organizations benefit from it, be it environmental organizations who help the elderly and children. So it is a great, great program. And it needs more organizations to be interested in it. And we're here to guide you in any way we can and assist you along the way.
Thank you, Lara. Maybe after now involving Sarah and the people from Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, I will come back for also what from, if you could recount without giving details of obviously the concrete experiences, because you mentioned the great positive outcome that these people receive. Sarah, I would now like to involve you. We had the experience by Danelle, and I think generally those are the experiences that youths would want to hear, because from us or from the organization it would be one thing, but hearing from youths who have experienced really this situation can be truly beneficial. To this end, I would like now to involve you, and perhaps Jennifer also could come into the discussion if she would like. Since my experience with Aġenzija Żgħażagħ is that they do really great work with youths on the ground. So I think that is which distinguishes the organization. They are in touch with out there with the trends in the society that is going on. Sarah, perhaps if you could mention what is the experience that you have for youths. Are they searching for these experiences, where the experience of Danelle, but do you have other experiences where youths share, or what are they searching for through these experiences? What type of organizations, what type of experiences, what are their expectations when they search for these type of experiences?
Okay. As you said, yes, Aġenzija Żgħażagħ tries its best to be where the young people at, and we try to address young people deriving from different backgrounds. So our services do not just address young people who are within educational institutions. Our service take a youth work approach. So all the employees of Aġenzija Żgħażagħ are qualified youth workers. So the process of ourselves working with young people takes up a lot of responsibility, that is taking an ethical approach and also being responsible in providing the young person with anything in order to reach their needs and their wants. Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, as I mentioned earlier, can be found as well on the street, within different institutions, and we address various things. Now, when it comes to what they want, I mean, young people want a lot of things, as in they are in the period where they want to discover things. So they would want to go abroad, they would want to work, they would want to study. So we try in a way to provide a tailored service regarding to their needs. Jennifer, who is my colleague, please feel free to intervene as well, because we're both here together and I just don't want to take all the floor to myself. But yes, young people come up with a lot of questions, and during the process when we're working with them, they come to terms what is realistic and what is not as well. And this is the good thing about our work as well, because we create dialogue with the young people and we question them and they question us as well. So they are getting a proper picture of what can be done and what is available. I've mentioned many a times that we try and work around the needs of the young person, and their needs and their wants also rely on the trends which are constantly changing. Keep in mind that we are working with a being which is constantly moving forward and changing. So if one person today comes with one particular need, it does not mean that tomorrow they will have the same particular need. However, we as the National Youth Agency, we try to make things possible for the young people. Many come with a lot of questions, and we try to answer those questions. If we are not capable of answering those questions, Aġenzija Żgħażagħ works with other different entities, so we will be able to refer them to a specific service which will be able to assist them. You know, the floor is always open to young people to come up with ideas, and we will do our best as well to help them develop those ideas. Our doors are always open as well. They can come anytime to our office, that is between Monday and Friday, because those are our working days. But we are very easy to reach. I'm not sure if Jennifer wants to add something to what I just said.
Yes, as Sarah was saying, in our role as youth workers with Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, we meet a lot of young people who really wish to contribute to society, who wish to volunteer, to give back to the community, both locally and abroad, or even study or train. They want to make this change within their life, but change is not so easy. So they have this wish, but they are not aware that such opportunities exist, that they are easily within reach, and that they will have the support throughout. So here I would like to emphasize the importance of continuously promoting such opportunities, even on a one-to-one basis. So all those who are in contact with young people, teachers, parents, youth leaders, to engage in this conversation, to reach out to these young people who may show an interest, so that we can help them throughout the process, because it can be challenging to embark on such a journey, apart from knowing about these projects in the first place. Another important aspect is having the courage to try something new, but it is part of the process. It is an experience that can help young people to build their confidence, to be more independent, to discover new places, to make new connections. So while it is not an easy decision for some, the experience and the result can be very rewarding. So I do encourage all those young people who wish to have this experience to contact us, so we can help them to find the opportunities that best suit them. As Sarah said earlier, we are a very small island, that's true, but there is a whole world of opportunities ready to be explored. So just go for it.
And just to add something to what Jennifer said, this addresses actually us who are responsible of those opportunities. We know that it is difficult for the young people to kind of take the first step. So let us not wait for the young person to contact us. Let us be responsible and be at where the young people are, and let them know about those opportunities. Let us not wait for the young person to come to us. Let us go to them.
Thank you very much. As I said before, even I was a young person long time ago, volunteering abroad, though we had limited opportunities, not like today, was something which helped me build my character throughout, because when you volunteer here, it's a challenge. When you volunteer abroad, you have multiple challenges because there is the culture, but you come to know other youths with whom, as Danelle also mentioned in her experience, you start building bonds. And both you and both Sarah and Jennifer mentioned in their interventions the aspect of trust that needs to be created with youth, in the sense that there needs to be a bond, and also Sarah mentioned very well the aspect that we don't need youths to come to us about these experiences, but we need to come forward with the opportunities that there are. Perhaps I would, from your perspective as an organization, especially when you are faced by such a challenge as offering such an important experience as going abroad, this aspect of trust, how do you build it with these young people, especially when they come to you, you sense that they are searching for this type of experience, and you build that relationship where you say, look, there are these opportunities, and I believe that you can do it and that it will be beneficial for you.
Well, to start with, I think the main key in order to establish a good relationship with the young person is to listen. Listen to everything, even if something might not make sense to you. Just listen and do not be judgmental at all. And in order to enhance this relationship, you need to question as well. Question, but do not judge. When you question, you get to understand what the young person actually needs and what they want. And as well, in order to attain a positive outcome, when you are providing information, you do not pressure the young person to opt for something which you might think is good and ideal for them. You provide them with the information and you let them make their own decision. The good thing about youth work is because we do not just give you an experience, we live it with you. And that reinforces the trust that we have actually initiated with the young person. And we can see and even tell, and Jennifer, I think, can vouch for this, that we've had young people who came to us in the past, and they still rely to us because we managed to establish a good relationship just by listening and understanding and being there for the young person. I don't know if I actually answered your question, but I tried to give you a better insight of how it works.
I emphasized this point because for those who are following us and who will be following this webinar later, it's important to understand these young people that they can come to you. They can come to you with trust, and we now this goes on to show that young people can come, they can speak freely to you. You can understand what they want and help them also make decisions. We had a question. I don't know if perhaps Lara could answer it. Whether there are opportunities this summer that can be organized.
So the opportunities are always available. They're always available. So, and you can go during winter, during summer, and if it's during summer, you can go for maybe 2 or 3 months. So definitely something they can do, of course.
Okay, so if one, for example, wants to have an opportunity this summer, she goes through the website and searches for these opportunities.
Yes, just to join the core first, and then looks through all the hosting organizations which are available, and usually there is the dates as well. So,
and I think that also where the Eurodesk mobility advisor could come in as well in assisting youths to search for particular experiences, right, Sarah?
Definitely. May I point out as well that our services apply as well to youth organizations, not just young people. And we collaborate as well with EUPA in order to provide the necessary and required information. So us, Aġenzija Żgħażagħ and EUPA have a good relationship as well to make things happen.
Okay. We have another question. When doing the volunteering hours, will they also have free time?
Yes, so basically the minimum is 30 hours and the maximum is 38. So that's why it was listed as a full-time job. This is not just 2 hours a day, etc. You will work with your host organizations in order to maybe have a timetable, but other than that, then you will have your free time, of course.
Okay, so that's great. I think there
Of
are
course. And then they get a little pocket money as well. Of course, it's €5, but then when you take into account that food is and accommodation and travel are also included in for the volunteer, I think that it's something that you can manage, of course.
Okay.
€5 might not be much, but it will allow you the possibility even to learn how to budget your money
Yes.
and making use of what you have.
Exactly. But it's great how many opportunities there are out there, how many organizations are there to help youths engage in these type of experiences which enrich them. So I would like to congratulate both EUPA and Aġenzija Żgħażagħ for the great work they are doing. And now we are concluding this webinar. It was a very good discussion. And so I would like to thank our speakers for today, both Sarah from Aġenzija Żgħażagħ and Lara Farrugia from the European Union Programs Agency. I would like to thank also Jennifer Kauki and Simon Schkembri for helping us to formulate this program for today's webinar. The role of Europe Direct is basically this, to liaise with the organization, to put forward the opportunities that there are through EU funding and the European Union. So this webinar will remain available on the Europe Direct Gozo Facebook page and will also be uploaded on the Gozo Business Chambers YouTube page as well. So I would like also to thank the staff of the chamber who have assisted me, and Richard Grech, our technical coordinator during this webinar. So we put on a lot of opportunities. Please continue to follow us on the Europe Direct Gozo Facebook page for any future events. I would also encourage you to follow EUPA and to follow Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, for there are opportunities there, and not to be afraid to contact these organizations, because they really offer very good opportunities for their future. Thanks very much.